YouTube? I'm at it again with a video. So today I just wanted to talk about why no one wants to have any kids. And bro, I gotta admit, it's just way too expensive. And if you're a guy, it's even worse, because they can take all your money, take your kids, rob your chain, all that. And then another reason is people today are they're pretty adverse to responsibility. And a lot of people, when they have kids, you're supposed to grow up and mature as an adult while raising your kid. And that's a hard sell to most people who don't grow up much past middle school. And when I thought about having kids, I gotta admit, I'm just way too childish for that. And I don't really have the time or the want or the drive to have any kids. Oh, and if you watch this video, type in whether you want to just see my face while I'm talking, or whether you just rather have me go through the forest or something. I don't know. I just like it here because it's calm, it's peaceful. Not too many other people out here other than me and a few old people. So that's why I like it. And then the views are great. It is a bit treacherous today, though. It's raining a lot, and I've slipped and fell pretty much on my butt at least 2-3 times. Or at the very least, I've gotten soaked a couple times. But yeah, so anyway, back to the topic of people not having kids. It's just, all of life is just too expensive now. You've got all these people buying up all this land, and then they're inflating the cost of everything to keep the average person a renter forever. And then you have all the others who are just trying to get a home, and the average age of someone buying a new home now is 56, I think it was. Yeah, 56. Anyway, but if that isn't a sign of how bad it's gotten, then I don't know. Maybe you should need to read up a bit more on the news if you can't figure that out, that's not a good thing. But hold on, I'm going down this. Screw it. If I fall, I fall. But anyway, right as I say that, I almost fell on my butt. Okay. And just go down. Ugh. Use a tree or two as support. There. More or less on land that won't make me fall and die. Okay. But yeah, so I was thinking about just saving up for a home initially, and the average home, thankfully in my area, is only worth 120, 150,000. But I'm from a small town. I can't imagine what it's like in New York. You're out here buying one of those condos for $16 million, and it's 1,000 square feet if you're lucky. Ain't no way I'm doing that. But yeah, if you can, just stick to just living with your family and saving up if you got a high-paying job. And right now I'm trying to just build a company, but I live with my parents, so if I fail, it's not the end of the world. But to me, it would really sting, because while I liked my job, my old job, I don't really like I didn't really like just the culture of said job, if that makes sense. And I think a lot of this relates to people not wanting to have kids is because, well, most people don't want to date someone who is, one, living with their parents like me, two, like 6-figure salary nowadays is like the bare minimum if you want to thrive, and then everyone else is just more or less surviving. And if you were to take all the people who make like 6 figures, like in the US, I don't think it is as high as a lot of people say it is. Because if, at least in my personal experience, more people don't have, I would say the vast majority of people I know probably work a job that makes $30,000 a year, 30 or 40K a year. Now I'm from Ohio, so it might be heavily skewed, but I think the point still stands. I mean, I guess if you're out in California, making 100K is nothing, but at the same time, you're also paying $3,000, $4,000 a month for rent for a mediocre apartment, and I'm not talking like a good one. Like, I know people who are paying $2K a month, and it's like, dude, you live in the hood. And it's like, he's got like a couple kids, and I'm like, he's just gonna be stuck there forever. And I really feel for those people, because it can be harder than people. Life can be a lot more cruel than people realize. And why I personally don't want kids is because, well, if I grow a huge business and if I get successful, there's probably going to be a bunch of people who will try to want to take it from me. And I just don't want that risk. I mean, I'm trying to work hard for what I got, and I don't want to lose it. Oh, I just almost fell again. But, oh man. Okay, you can't see it, but this is super slippery, so I'm going back to the grass. I've already almost fallen in my face within like 100 yards of walking like 4 or 5 times. But, okay. But yeah, and kids today, they're a ton of responsibility. And a lot of times, they'll somehow end up growing up the exact opposite way of how you want them to think or feel about things. Because when you're raising a kid, you don't want them to be thinking about you want them to think like how you think, whether it's in your beliefs, your politics, religion, whatever. And most of the time, it seems like kids nowadays just want to just do the exact opposite of what their parents did, just because they think it's cool or edgy or whatever. And I would be pretty hurt, and I would feel like I failed as a parent too if like my kid had like completely different beliefs from mine. Now granted, I would still love the kid, and I would also take care of a kid if I had one in the best way I can, but if I'm being honest with myself, I barely can take care of myself, let alone a kid. So that's another thing that I often think about when it comes to having kids. It's that you need to be on a mature enough level, not just like mentally, I'm talking like financially mature, and in a lot of cases you need to be spiritually mature too. And if I'm being honest with myself, I am none of those things. Well, I'm better off financially more than most people, but when it comes to maturity, well, if I'm being honest, I am about as immature as it gets for a guy my age. I mean, I still do I'm still being a productive member of society. It's just I'm just not mature enough to have a kid. And then not only that, but nowadays, if you're a male, you're actively punished for having a kid too, because they can take all your stuff, everything you worked for. They can even make it so you don't see your kid again, while you have to pay $300, $400, $700 a month just for child support. And it's like, bro, I didn't want this for my kid. And then your kid will often growing up hating you because they'll say, oh, father abandoned them, the mother abandoned them, whatever. Whoever gets full custody, you know they're going to be trash talking their kid. I really like that waterfall, that mini waterfall. It's cool. But yeah. And that's why I think people are just not having kids. Now me, I never really wanted kids to begin with. Like, even before, like, everything was, like, just completely screwed up with the economy. So, for me, it was just, whatever. But for other people, I'm sure it's a lot more devastating to them. Because they know they just simply can't afford to have a kid. And with government assistance, it's you either make too much money to be on the government assistance, or you are completely reliant on the government on all fronts, no matter what. And the government should be in service to the people, not to just keep us trapped. And unfortunately, that's reality today. But I've got a lot to say about politics, but most guys my age do. But that I'll have that as another video. But yeah, those were just kind of my current thoughts about, like, why I personally don't want to have a kid and why I think a lot of people nowadays just don't want to have a kid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you made it all this way, I appreciate it, because I know that, like, I'm not very good at talking and recording at the same time, and I stutter a lot and I trip over my own thoughts and all that. But if you made it all this way, thanks, and I'll see you again soon.